target up as Regros landing a 4-man sulfurous smash, Durance of Hate from Mephisto, and this combination executed perfectly at the end of the game.
From Alarak, make it a quad kill set up by that East.
Wow, did you see that mosh pit? 4-man mosh pit while on a conveyor belt. That was like a regular sushi.
Nubarak, core at 50%. Both cores are just absolutely melting. Which one's going to go down first? I think this is going to be Respect the Gooses. Oh my goodness.
Ring. Oh my goodness, the ring. Jaina just pulling up everybody here. That's a 4, make it 5
And it
for
does
nothing.
knock them all up. What a play! Oh my God! Somebody please clip that.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight we're going to catch a matchup between Division C West opponents, Cosmos and Clouded Minds. Maybe it's Cosmos. I don't know. Right? Like multiple Cosmos? Maybe that's what they like. Maybe they like the Cosmos. I'm going to go with Cosmos. But anyways, we got Cosmos and Clouded Minds. And taking a quick peek at the standings here, let's see where we stand. Division C West, a hefty division, 13 teams. Cosmos sitting right there, number 4, tied with Randy Newman. Clouded Minds struggling to get off the ground a little bit here, but you know what? There's still plenty of opportunity for Clouded Minds to claw their way right back into the playoff. But our teams are ready to go, so let's cover what we've got for map bans. Cosmos banned out the Cursed Hollow and Alterac packs, whereas Clouded Minds banning out the Sky Temple and Full Sky Foundry. And our first game is going to be on Brax's Holdout, the select of... You know what? Let's hop right in and take a look at it. Go to that one. That one's quiet. Bam, there we go. Little Alpha's gonna cover up some chat. I don't expect anything spicy, but you never know. So right out of the gate, Mal'Ganis taken out. No sleepy boys, no feeding tonight. And it's actually gonna be Ragnaros. Ragnaros getting a lot of value on a map like this when he Lava Wave to help counter the Zerg Wave, but also just keeping that lane clean. Not a big surprise seeing that one banned. Also, now the Tassadar. Tassadar has a lot of wave clear, provides for that opportunity to keep your opponents from leaving, separating them, maybe even putting in a little bit of shadow charge into a Diablo wall. So Wheat Braxislav says 7-10. Dax, let's go Clouded Minds. Fair enough, buddy. Raynor also the pick. The ban for Cosmos. And our first hero selection can be Gul'dan. Lots of wave clear. Doesn't have to really worry so much about his mana pool because he just, you know what? The guy sacrifices. Every single day, every single game that he plays, Gul'dan is sacrificing. It's a little bit of himself that he gives up. It's going to be ETC and Kael'thas, the pickups here from Clouded Minds. Could see that perfect 5-man mosh pit. Get a couple of living bombs in there as well. Spread the love around. Drop a flame strike on them. It could happen. It might happen this game. It's going to be Murden and Greymane. So we've got that Stormbolt setting up the plays with Greymane coming in on the Cursed Bullet. so that when that ETC does go for that mosh, maybe they're able to burn him down extra quickly. ETC doesn't have a huge health pool. He gets that bonus armor from being a rock star. Let's see. I should probably type in these names. Oriel going to be the final ban for Clouded Minds. That's a good healer to support the Gul'dan. Basically becomes an unlimited battery for Oriel, and Oriel becomes an unlimited battery for Gul'dan because he doesn't use mana either, really. I mean, he uses mana, of course, but we covered that. Last ban here. What are they gonna get rid of? Are they gonna look at maybe a solo laner, maybe a Rexar? Phoenix. Okay, all right. I think I've seen a little bit of the Phoenix out of Clouded Minds. So that's fair. That's fair. Get rid of the Phoenix for sure. Easy. All right, picks number 3 and 4 coming in for Clouded Minds. Do we see the healer, the off lane? Not the off lane yet. Going into the double mage, so I expect we'll see somebody that's pretty beefy in that. Maybe a Sonya, maybe an Imperius. An Imperius with a Gravity Lapse and a Power Slide with the Stukov Silence underneath. I could see that being dangerous. Add on top of that the Eternal Feast from Morphia. What's our counter? Fortify. That'd probably be the biggest one. And Nay taking away the Imperius, so alright. And the Brightwing. Brightwing, not a commonly picked healer, but I have to say I'm a big fan. I'm very much in support of the Brightwing. Brightwing, a level 100 plus Brightwing player, so looking forward to seeing her have tons of fun. This map. Tiger bringing it up with the Sonya as the last pick. So I like these drafts. I mean, Clouded Minds has a double mage comp, so they kind of have the put that in, pause. If it doesn't work out, back away. Stukov has the option to help them with that back away. They've got the face meld out of ETC, so absolutely they have that opportunity. Imperius, Murden, Greymane all have the potential to go farther, given the right circumstances. So other than that Pimpan coming out from Stukov, the disengage is going to be a little difficult for Clouded Minds. So we'll see how that turns out. Kael'thas, their primary wave clear on the side of Clouded Minds. Gul'dan has a ton of wave clear. Greymane has decent clear. So I think I'm leaning towards Cosmos' draft. But if they're not careful, I mean, those mages, they get some combos out, get some kills, and suddenly that Brightwing becomes a little bit more difficult. But the Brightwing also has the Pixie Dust, so we'll see how this turns. All right, game number 1. Let's get our teams introduced. On the left, we got Cosmos. It's going to be Oddity playing the Brightwing. We got E-Day, 15 on Greymane. Silverjackal on the Gul'dan, Cirrus on the Murden, and up in the top lane, we got Imperius. And on the right, Clouded Minds, we got Imperius. Sorry, Imperius played by Nay. Yeah, we just have Imperius. He's just there. On the right, Clouded Minds, we got Tiger playing the Sonya. Double Am on the ETC. Venus, where's your Cloud, man? He's going to be playing Orphea. Star Knight on the Stukov, and Swing on the Kael'thas. All right, taking a look at these talents. So, going to be Echoed Corruption for Gul'dan. We got the third win for Murden, looking for that sustainability. The Greater Polymorph coming out from the Brightwing. So, longer range, and also the cooldown reduction potentially. Speaking of that, Polymorph, ETC going in, ends up getting taken out after that. Polymorph, Greymane finishing the job. First Blood going over to Cosmos. And I believe I heard, as I was flipping away there, I believe that Brightwing just used the phase shift, so that will be offline. At least for a bit. Another 40 seconds or so. We're going to see Greymane and, well, actually 3 of them rotating in onto the siege camp. So it's going to give us an opportunity to take a peek up here, see how things go between Ney and Tiger. Now, with that ban on Ariel, do you think that Ney would be the Ariel player? Huh? What do you think? So you can whip and Ney? Huh? Alright, maybe not. Kael'thas, of course, going into Mana Addict, looking for the globes, giving him a shield, but also that increase in mana. The Echoed Corruption stacking already to 11. Sitting at 20, just over 25%. Both teams currently have control of 1 point, but Imperius going back now. It's going to give Sony the opportunity to start pressuring in on the wall. Driving a little far forward, but doesn't have anybody that's going to really pose a threat. Weenus getting polymorphed here. Greymane going in, gets a gravity lapse, and Greymane taken out by Kael'thas. Weenus now having to try to continue to disengage, is going to be taken out by the Gul'dan. So 1-for-1 trade in that. But I gotta say, if you're Clouded Minds, that's actually pretty lucky, because that was looking like a dead Weenus either way. Getting that kill on the Greymane, high value. And this is essentially a 3v2, as Gul'dan wasn't really nearby. Stormbolt hits onto ETC, giving one more stack there for Muradin, sitting at 10 now out of the 25. But let's check in on Sonya and Imperius, as Tiger, having used that Whirlwind now, doesn't have the self-healing for a few seconds, but back up. But it's not, oh, the missed Celestial Charge, but it's not gonna matter. Sonya going down, and that's now, Imperius could get onto that point and start some channel here, but is getting the XP. So there's the Gravity Lapse, looking for Cirrus. Can Muradin get out? No, the Power Slide coming in from ETC is gonna interrupt the Dwarf Toss, and only 6% picked up. I think Imperius needed to be on that just a moment earlier. They would have gotten a few more percent on that, but that's okay, giving them the XP catch-up. And ETC looking for the Gul'dan. It might be enough with that Living Bomb. Brightwing trying to get in there, just not quite in time. And now the channel begins for Clouded Minds. Sonya coming back up. Once again, we've got ourselves a battle between the solo laners here. And I think ultimately Sonya really wants to be in the lane if she's going to fight against Imperius. I don't think she's going to get as much value if she's fighting him away from those minions. But Weenus coming up does get that chomp onto Imperius. Is it enough? Can they get it? Not quite. He's only going to have about 20% of his health, but he does pull back. Now, we see the pings calling for this bottom control point. Knowing that there are 2 top, this gives the advantage over to Cosmos. Greymane going in. Has that 10 armor when he's in Wolf. But no kills out of that one. And we're going to return just to the 1v1 up in the top lane, as Weenus returning to the bot lane. They're going to move in onto the point. This is a 4v4 even fight here, but Greymane coming in looking at the back line. But Cirrus is the one who's falling extremely low. Kael'thas taking that pressure from Greymane and going in as Greymane. Not quite able to get in onto swing, though. And any farther would have been just too dangerous. But the control picked back up by Clouded Minds. Muradin going in, gets caught by the Gravity Lapse, is going to share the Living Bomb, as now Weenus going in looking for the Gul'dan. The Power Slide coming in, is it enough? And it is. Gul'dan going down, but can they save the ETC? Just barely, but they get the kill with that Living Bomb onto the Muradin. And a triple kill as Gul'dan, Muradin, and finally Greymane all being taken out. But Sonya versus Imperius, once again in the top lane, very equal here. But Imperius able to stop the channel. Weenus, however, is going to come up, should be able to flip that, give them the rest of the channel, and throws out just a little bit of damage there for... Gonna whip out a little bit of damage for the Ney. Oh, I'm gonna keep doing that, guys. It's gonna just keep coming. But look at this. We got Clouded Minds kind of ignoring the potential push with their objective and instead picking up both... Oh man, this game. Picking up both of the camps. So they'll have that siege camp going in the top lane to help kind of clear out that top wave. And the majority of the Zerg is still here. Starnet, however, getting very low thanks to that Gul'dan. And power slide in, but the polymorph's there to prevent any further engage from that ETC. And Murden getting the stun there onto Venus. Venus using that chomp. Gonna go ahead and pop right on out of danger. And the full wall completed down in the bot lane. Sonya coming in. Now, keeping in mind that these towers have been adjusted, they cap out now at 20 armor reduction. So not nearly as bad as 2 days ago. And we're going to see here Greymane getting just taken out. ETC, however, taking damage from the towers will fall. Murden also going to fall. So 2 for 1 in this. Level 10's now available, and that's going to give Clouded Minds the first fort of the game. High value play out of that, getting Tiger to come down, help to commit to pushing the Zerg wave, and it's still going. There's still at least one in there. Yeah, just the one, but they also have the sentry from the camp. And you can see them setting up, like, right now. They want this camp immediately. They have their level 10s, but here comes Cosmos, and ETC's nowhere nearby. Imperius is, though. Oh, there's the Pimp Hand from Star Knight. They might have to sacrifice the Sonya. Oh, the leap get him out, but the Horrify just not quite in the right position to make it work. Murden going in, has the Avatar, is continuing to dive in. Gravity Lapse does miss, but here comes the Celestial Charge from the Imperius here. Star Knight gonna get caught by Greymane whipping around as Pyroblast not enough to take out the Murden, but they do get the kill onto Brightwing. As Venus falling as well now. Ide aggroing the boss. And Double Dam gets the Mosh, but it doesn't matter, as Gul'dan was outside. If Tiger was there just a moment sooner, they probably could have gotten this kill onto the Greymane, but ultimately just not quite what they were hoping for out of that fight. So the camp did get a little bit of value down here, not a ton. It got just a 5-10% of that wall, but you know what? You got to start somewhere. Now, the real question here is, can they get this Imperius? They don't have anything like a wall or anything. No hooks. So it looks like they're going to rotate up, try to get him, but not quite. Still, a lot of value in that overall play from Clouded Minds. They did get that bottom fort. They did steal away a camp. They lost some heroes, so they're behind a little bit in XP now. We'll see how that shifts the game momentum. Does that set of kills set Cosmos in a position now where they are able to get 13 sooner, maybe go into a fight with that talent advantage, maybe get a Zerg wave? We'll have to find out. Down in the bot lane, Tiger versus Nay once again, as Gul'dan is rotating up here. And Cloud of Minds moving on to their siege camp. They have this out as early as possible so that they can have a little bit of pressure in the lane so that they can fight away from it and get value. Star Knight right up there next to Murden is going to go ahead and pull back. We see the pustule going out to the entire team there, spreading that disease like COVID. We got the Avatar coming in as the Gravity Lapse landing. We got Living Bomb, but Horrify going out onto the Stukov here, and including a little bit of extra corruption. But that's it. Imperius, however, did come up. We got Sonya coming up as well. And right now, this maybe favors Clouded Minds a little bit. They've already got the bottom control point. So Imperius not checking that bush, is going to get caught by the stun, the silence, and deleted. As Clouded Minds going to make their way onto the top control point. Missing the Stormbolt here, and Tiger diving in, looking for the Gul'dan, is going to get it. Connecting with the leap. Now, what can they do here? They've got 2 heroes dead. Are they going to make their way to the boss? It looks like they are. They've got the channel started. Greymane flipped that for a moment there in the bot lane. So only half of the channel, but they're going to pick up this boss. And that boss is going to help them to secure the rest of the channel. Although, Murden now, recognizing that they're on the boss, picking up top. I'm actually kind of surprised that Greymane didn't finish this, but probably a good idea. He didn't know if they were on the boss, and disengaging out of that as soon as possible, really just making sure that the channel was stopped, is likely the best call. Boss is going to go up into the top lane here, and it's going to start working on this tower. And it doesn't take much. This boss just shreds the structure defenses. They do have the value of Greymane and Murden. Murden didn't go into Sledgehammer, though. Imperius getting caught by the gravity lapse there, and there's the knockback from Stukov. A double mosh up in the top, but no follow-up to finish it. Tiger going in hard, uses the leap, but does not get the value they're looking for. Stukov falling in the back now as well. Crushing Jaws coming out, gets the Murden, but Angelic Armaments is about to... Oh, never mind. The Jukes from Weenus gets a big... chomp. Oh, and here goes the Greymane. Oh, no, never mind. It's Brightwing. Pixie Dust giving 55 spell armor with that level 13 talent, Pixie Power. I thought it was 50 spell armor, but it said 55, so I don't know. Maybe there was a 5 or something. Yeah, he got 55 too. All right, let's check this out, because I was positive Pixie Dust was... it's 30. All right, well, then never mind. I thought it was... I could swear it was 25. Level 100 Brightwing. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So a full Zerg wave, but they don't have anything to push with it. They just didn't have what they needed team-wise. Too many deaths in that engagement. So the Zerg is going to get cleared up by Cosmos. Once again, we've got Clouded Mines in the bot lane. They're going to head on over to their Bruiser camp, get that started. Real question, though, is what does Cosmos do? Right now, they're looking at their... Now, interestingly enough, we've seen over here for Clouded Mines, riding the green clouds. Maybe a metaphor. Over here on the left, though, for Cosmos, we got the Celestial Mounts. Got some horses in there. Saw a surfboard. Not sure, of course, that Brightwing has any potential with that, but you know what? She's got the Pixie Dust, so we'll call that a little bit kind of the same. So currently, Clouded Mines with 2 Zerg waves. They've gotten down 2 forts. And the kills are even, 11 to 11, as we go into the latter stages of this game. Everybody's quests are complete so far. We got the Mana Addict for Kael'thas sitting at 33 globes, so a nice hefty shield that he can put out now. Keeping swing a little bit safer when perhaps the Greymane comes to town. Murden with that Stormbolt is going to be able to hit 2 people with those stuns, but here they come rotating in. Murden is looking maybe for the Stukov. Instead turns around onto the Sonya. Sonya misses with that stun. The Horrify coming out, and there's the slap away. Can Tiger survive here? Tries to get the healing from Stukov, and there's that pustule. So Avatar was used by Murden, ETC getting caught by the double stun, but this time there's no knockback available from Stukov. So that's going to be a kill on the Murden. Tiger trying to spin to win there. Maybe to get Murden to focus on the Sonya, get some negative 20 armor value coming from the towers there. Gotcha, Derry. That would explain a lot. All right, well, Oddity there on the Brightwing, taking a lot of damage with the Polymorph going out onto Sonya. Greymane diving in, but not quite able to get there. The Pyro was canceled. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and so what I was going to say at the very beginning of the game, and I never got around to it, is, you know, against a double mage comp, like, Brightwing is... She doesn't feel like she would be a great healer against it, but it's because of that Pixie Dust. If you're good with the Pixie Dust, being able to pick that level 13 talent that gives now, I guess, 55 spell armor better, really helps. It negates that Kael'thas Pyroblast, and it reduces the effectiveness of Orphea there as well. There's the leap coming in. We've got the Crushing Jaws. Mosh Pit coming in is going to hit onto 2, but the Horrify does come out. The knockback from Stukov as Murden diving in. Tiger, however, falling low. Oddity is very low if they can find the Brightwing, but oh my goodness, the Angelic Armaments just destroying ETC. And this went from not so great to really bad for Clouded Mines very quickly as the go for the throat coming out onto Kael'thas, possibly looking for the reset. Murden, though, sitting at a cool 400 health, having to pull away from the towers they were shooting. And now, for the first time in the game, I believe, aside from that 6% at the very beginning, Cosmos going to pick up some significant channel here. All the while getting that bottom fort because of their camp And in all of that, the boss is back up. So they're going to get their own boss to start pressuring. Likely on the top lane, it does. And with half of the team from Clouded Mines still away, likely going to see that top fort at least take a bunch of damage, possibly even go down. So there's Murden diving in. Sonya using the leap to get out. Does not want the opportunity for that fear to potentially land. Of course, that's still on cooldown for a few moments. As the channel is going to get picked up, and it's coming in the top lane. So Clouded Mines already here to defend the boss. We'll see how this plays out. Murden gets a stun onto Orphea, and good night. Horrify going out is going to land onto both of the tanks. Sonya, however, the one going deeper into the team. We see the pings calling for that kill onto Tiger. Sonya using the spear, but didn't quite go the direction she wanted. Brightwing getting that kill, and Greymane diving hard onto the Kale Sauce is going to finish that one as well. Double Dam using that face melt, but it's just not enough. Greymane finishing that one more kill. Boss and a full Zerg wave coming into this top keep, and it is falling rapidly. With 30 seconds left on the clock for the bulk of Clouded Mines, this is looking very strong for Cosmos. They just have to dodge those missiles coming out from the core. And with that Zerg wave, it's not going to matter. Game number 1 going over to Cosmos. (19 kills to 11). At one time, that was 11 to 11. It was very close in the overall team fighting right up until that point. But the structure damage was very much in favor of Clouded Mines. They had control of the early game. They got a bot lane. They got the top lane pushed all the way up to the keep. And just a couple of plays, just a couple of awkward positioning or really great horrifies set up Cosmos to take advantage of the timing for that boss play, for that Zerg wave, and ultimately stack those together, take out the top fort, take out the top keep, and win the game. So fantastic play really from both of these teams. The early game really fantastic for Clouded Mines. Cosmos really played well in that later game, and I gotta say, you know, Brightwing is not a hero that you sit there and say, you know what, that's a super impactful hero. But I gotta say, I felt like Brightwing was top tier for this matchup, providing the pixie dust, reducing the spell damage coming in, and that's where the bulk of that damage from Clouded Mines was coming from. At level 13, taking the pixie power, increasing that spell armor, but also let's not forget these polymorphs. Polymorphs onto Sonya so many times, interrupting the whirlwinds and really preventing Sonya from getting away, along with the armor penetration. And I have to assume at level 20 that it probably would have been the fairy dust for the AoE. But that's where we're at. Brightwing wins a game, and I gotta say, I love it. So hopefully we'll see something crazy and exciting out of game number 2 here from these teams. Let's take a look. What did we have banned out? So Alterac, Cursed, Volskaya, and Sky Temple. The map was selected by Clouded Mines, I believe. Let me double check here. Cosmo. Yeah, they won the coin. They won it first here. So we'll see. I don't know whether they look for that or not. And Weenus coming in with those 69 bits. Always appreciate it, Weenus. Glad that you're here. Looking forward to seeing you in game 2. Mackin' Snackin'. What a name. So, alright, what do we got left on the table? We have Dragonshire. We have, let's see. Infernal Shrines, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Outtrack. I think, I mean, so it wouldn't surprise me if Clouded Mines takes first pick. They want to make some adjustments, draft or the priority or their bans or what have you. I did not write down the third bans from last game. Well, that's unfortunate. But that can certainly shift the balance of power in between the games. Or maybe they look for a more comfortable map. Brax is a map where they did a lot of team fighting. Maybe they look at something like Infernal Shrines, where they focus a bit more on the macro. Try to gain advantage elsewhere on the map while taking those fights. What are those? A moist burrito. It looks like it says it's an ant burrito. I'm not sure about that, Weenus. I'm not sure about the burrito. If it's got ants in it. Extra protein, I'm sure. Alright, let's see. Orphea, we had Stukov. Kael'thas. Sonya. Let's see. You know, it occurs to me that if they're actually putting that in other chat, I'm gonna fix it. There it is. So, as I was saying, Brightwing, Greymane, Muradin, and Ember. So, we are going to Battlefield of Eternity, the map that I forgot about when I was listing all of the available maps out. And let's see, who picked this one? This was, so it is first pick for Clouded Minds. This was the selection. In fact, why don't we take a look at those maps for a second? Mostly because I want a short beverage. Okay then. All right, so we're all set up, just waiting on the teams to get fully ready. Mostly just about positioning of captain hats and all that good stuff. Weenus says, things get weird when I have that. Oh, buddy. Boy, do they. If you want to find out how weird, let's check out twitch.tv/moistweenus on a Friday night or a Saturday night. They get weird. Not in a bad way. All right, here we go. Battlefield of Eternity. Say goodbye to Alpha. Passed out over there on the floor. And here we go. Game number 2. Currently, we've got Cosmos up 1-0. It's going to be the first ban coming out from Clouded Minds. They previously banned out the Rag and Tassadar. Wouldn't necessarily expect a Ragnaros here, so Greymane's actually the first one to be banned, and I believe it. Greymane did a lot of work against mostly, I think, the Kael'thas and being able to kind of circle around and get into that backline and really just put pressure on the Kael'thas made it very difficult for Swing to get as much value as they want. Mal'Ganis and Raynor were the first couple of bans here. Raynor would be very valuable here, so it wouldn't surprise me to see the same bans. We do see Mal'Ganis first. Raynor did lose a little bit of his effectiveness, as we're going to see now ETC being taken out. Tassadar can, I think, get a pretty significant amount of value on this map as well, so it wouldn't surprise me now that Clouded Minds has not banned Tassadar. Wouldn't surprise me if we see him take it. Is it Raynor? It's gonna be Raynor. Oh, it's Stukov. Okay. I mean, Stukov did a lot of work too. The silences were on point. The knockbacks were fantastic. Just couldn't always get who they wanted to. And sometimes they were able to still follow up on it because, again, as I mentioned, they had heroes that could just keep going, which Murden, Furious, Greymane, and all. But it's going to be Johanna, the first pick here, coming out from Double Damned. And there's Li Ming and Raynor. So both heroes that can do pretty significant race on Battlefield of Eternity. And of course, Li Ming also has the value of resets, and depending on build that she uses, can sit about 4.5 miles away from all the action. Still get pretty significant value. All right, probably looking at maybe a race DPS here, and there you go. And I was going to say the healer. So Rhaegar coming in could be a Bloodlust. Phoenix, fair bit of auto attack damage, so could be the case here. We did see that update with the Ancestral, his level 20. I don't know the name of it, but that got a little bit better. Excuse me. It's not even that late. It's 30. What's going on? Kael'thas going to be the ban. Oh, Cosmos. And Brightwing. Honestly, I think I would have been surprised for Brightwing, but it could happen. Brightwing does have Emerald Wind, so if you're going to go for a Bloodlust comp, Brightwing could effectively disengage that. In addition to that, Greater Polymorph, probably not the thing you want to have landing on you if you're a Phoenix. So I think that's justified. Especially after the game they just played, I think that's really helpful. Murden and Artanis. So again, 2 more heroes that provide pretty solid race. Meanwhile, we're going to get Kira. Kira doesn't really do a great race. So I think right now the Cloud of Mines is looking more, they've got okay race, but they're probably looking more at how do we defend our Immortal and smash the enemy. And it's going to be Jaina. So Jaina does pretty good damage against the Immortal as well. She is still a mage, so it's still kind of in that burst window. And is it? I assume it's Kira offlane, so Kira versus Artanis. Could be Phoenix. I don't think it's Phoenix. And it's going to be Lieutenant coming in for Oddity. So likely a stim drone. And yeah, I mean, whether it's Raynor, Annis even, possibly Muradin could get a stim drone, depending on what they built. Could be an interesting setup there for Cosmos. So we will have to see how this turns out. Make sure every right side. Or hero, I suppose. All right, getting set up for game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity. Cosmos up currently 1-0 after Braxis holdout. Let's get them introduced. We're going to have E-Day 15 playing the Raynor. We got Silver Jackal there on the Li Ming. Cirrus on the Muradin. Oddity playing the Lieutenant Morales. And Nay on Artanis. Over here on the right, we got Clouded Minds. Double Dam playing the Johanna. We got Venus on Phoenix. Star Knight going to be on that Rhaegar. Swing on the Jaina. And we've got Tiger playing Akira. Checking it out. So it is going to be Tiger versus Nay. Once again in the top lane. Kira versus Artanis. Kira hasn't quite gotten around to selecting her level 1. So we'll see if she takes the quest or something different. It's going to be the advanced targeting zone? Yeah, for Phoenix. So he's got those additional stacking lasers, which provide an increase to his auto attack damage. And eventually a third laser as well. So Cirrus missing the Stormbolt there, but a lot of damage coming in onto Double Dam anyway from the Li Ming. But so far, it looks like Clouded Minds electing to be a little bit more passive in their soak. They're allowing Cosmos to clear out their minions, and then moving forward to clear after that. Blizzard getting a lot of damage there onto Raynor, but Santa Morales has plenty of energy here as Double M getting pushed in by that grenade from Oddity. But she's Johanna. She does have Hold Your Ground, so Hold Your Ground's going to give her more shields more often. And it is the quest there for Kira. 30 stacks so far. Exterminator the pick for Raynor, so he's going to be able to race and push that even more. Of course, the amateur opponent. So a lot of race potential coming out from Cosmos. Rhaegar looking for the Raynor. Raynor all up in the business. They get the stun onto Jaina. Swing gonna be the first blood. As Ide, just relentless on Raynor, does not care. Says, you know what, Jaina? Bring it. Throw all of your spells at me. I don't care. I have Adrenaline Rush. Let's go. At least securing that kill with the assist coming in from Mert. Hey, it's Tatsuki! Welcome, Tatsuki. It's so good to see you. We're in the middle of a best of 3, currently on game number 2. Our left team, Cosmos, is up 1-0. It's best of 3. And this is a Division C West matchup. The NGS lineup goes from Heroic to A all the way through E. So this is kind of into the middle range of the play. All right, we've got our first Immortal set coming up. Of course, the Shaman Camp all ready to go here, so Tiger's going to pick that up. Meanwhile, Ide and Oddity over here to the Shaman Camp to get theirs sent out, and they'll send theirs out just a little bit later, so probably a little bit more value from theirs potentially. As Artanis was working on clearing this out, but might be a little bit far forward as Kira knocking him back. Venus is going to try to finish the job, but so much healing between Oddity, the beam plus the armor, the safeguard, and those two heroes who thought they had the opportunity there end up going into the graveyard. That's going to be Kira and Phoenix. And now this camp going to get loads more value. Burden chasing down Rhaegar here. Swing going to be rotating all the way down to try to clear out that camp. But this initial race, halftime, going over to Cosmos. Everybody's back up. Camp's still going, so it's still got the Shaman here. And coming in is Clouded Minds, looking for something to stall this out, but the Immortal's already almost dead. They're looking for the Artanis. Get him to about half, but pulls back. As Cirrus also getting low. Dwarf Toss over the wall isn't enough with that armor. It's not. Kira finishing that with her damage over time. But Artanis going to get the swap onto Double Dam. And here comes the whip onto the Nay, pushing Artanis into the full squad. And that's the second frontliner coming out from Cosmos, who's going to go down. This one doesn't have a lot of health, and Li Ming can certainly poke that over the wall. And there's nobody racing for Clouded Minds. They had to have everybody here. So it's really only a matter of time before that Immortal goes down. And by matter of time, I mean seconds. Phoenix in a little bit of danger here is going to get the full combo coming from Li Ming. But thanks to the Jaina, is going to be able to disengage. Tiger, however, not done. Going in onto Cirrus. And just barely getting that grappling hook away from the Artanis swap. Cirrus getting the burden stun there onto Tiger as well. So looks like ultimately they are going to be able to disengage. Well, maybe. They're still following a bit. So the Immortal, however, sitting rather healthy with that shield up in the top lane. And oh, I missed it. Kira falling down below. Welcome everybody from NyQuil Fiend. Appreciate the raid. This Immortal still sitting very healthy, has a small shield left. That'll go down here soon as Double using that tap, trying to stay nice and healthy herself. as the Immortal gonna lose its shield, make its way onto melee, bringing down this top fort. Could be enough, especially with Star Knight getting stunned there, but not quite. The minions coming in should be able to get cleared up before they finish the job here. And level 7's online for both teams, as Cosmos is going to make their way onto the camp. Raynor has that Exterminator, so he's able to pull that down pretty quickly. Double Dam going in is going to get the blind out, misses the Raynor, hits the Morales. So the team's going to go ahead and pull back. That's going to be a siege camp going over then to Cosmos. We do have the backs coming from, I guess that's just Rhaegar. They're going to try to defend this. I don't know how long they can do it. Ultimately, Li Ming eventually just finishes that, and then they'll have this siege camp that, at that point, they'll more easily be able to clear. But maybe not. This is still kind of an awkward place, as Phoenix is going to get caught by the stun, and Raynor's going to finish that very quickly. Cirrus taking a lot of damage, but Morales, with that healing beam, just doing so much work. Morales doesn't have any mana to speak of, so really just has to manage her energy there. However, Tiger and Ney down in the bot lane. Is this enough? Does Tiger pull this one off? And it is enough at least to push Artanis away. But Tiger, recognizing the danger, is taking the path to safety. Shaman Camp going to get picked up here by Clouded Minds, and this is a great play, even if not for the fact the Immortal is on its way. Level 10's not far away for Cosmos. And at that point, with aggressive as they've been, they could easily come up and invade that camp if they have that full level advantage and that talent advantage. This is a tough positioning for Clouded Minds. They can't really effectively defend on the other half of the map. So they're just going to try to get what race they can. And then they'll likely head down into the bot lane and clear up the camp, depending on the positioning of the Immortals here. So this is a little bit easier to defend, but it's still not fantastic. And there's the stim drone going on to Raynor. Just saying, you know what, let's burn this down. Excuse me, burn this down. It's going to go into the bot lane, so they're going to go clear up the camp in the top lane here. And that's about the best you could really hope for Clouded Minds. They got about half of that shield down. But now they're looking for level 10 here. Venus is in a little bit of danger here. Gets booped out of his warp. So he's in a lot of danger. I don't know if they know that, though. Blind does go out, so he's not going to do any damage at this point. And caught in the corner. Ide also very low, but is going to get the healing. Tiger getting Goomba stomped by Li Ming with that Calamity. And now, here comes the Immortal. Working on their second fort here. The shielding down, it's going to move into melee. So the swap looking for the Jaina, just barely missing. And level 10 still feels so far away. There's no real way for them to get the XP behind the Immortal here safely. And they don't have anybody up defending up in the top lane. So it's just the passive. Is level 10 now online? We'll see the Bloodlust coming out. And the swap is going to land onto Johanna. Is this their opportunity? There's the Suppression Pulse especially. That's really the key here. So now that Suppression Pulse is gone, this is the Bloodlust time, and there it goes. Phoenix is looking for the Artanis. Ring of Frost is going to land. It's going to hit onto the Raynor, taking him out, and a triple kill almost immediately with Morales coming in shortly thereafter. Artanis, the lone survivor, does make his way back out. And that's kind of the Siren's call. The moment that Suppression Pulse goes out, Bloodlust is pretty much free. Now you can make effective use of your ultimate. Your team can get charged right into the face of the enemies, and at that point then it doesn't matter if they can leap away or push you away. You come right back into their face, and that's what Clouded Minds did, and that's why they're getting their first structure of this game. And they still have the advantage down here. Artanis is up in the top lane. He just took that camp, so they have to know that. They're still looking at a disengage, and Tiger's in big danger as the stun coming in. The long-range Arcane Orb landing, giving the reset over to Li Ming, and she's chasing down Venus here as Johanna trying to get away. Raynor now has the Stim Drone, but it's not going to matter. They're largely disengaged out of this, it looks like. And we have our third Immortal coming up. Level 13 to 12. Slight advantage here to Cosmos. They do have the catapults. They, of course, have the siege camp up here. And a little bit of damage onto this wall. So this next Immortal, unless anything changes, will be going in the top lane. And all the ultimates are available for Clouded Minds. They do have quite a few pretty short cooldowns. That Blessed Shield's 60 seconds. The Ring of Frost is like 80, I think. 70. No, 80. 70 mana. But Kira's ult, 40 seconds. So they're all set up and ready to go. Suppression Pulse, though, is also a short cooldown. It's like 40 seconds, 50 seconds. I mean, every time that Bloodlust is available, it's going to be available. There's the stun onto Venus. He gets knocked back. He does get the warp. Still in a little bit of danger, but here comes Bloodlust. Kira's not going to get advantage of that. No, she does. Never mind. Look at all the healing coming out from her Blood Rage as the Ring of Frost is going to land. It's going to take out the Raynor as well. And Cirrus is surrounded by red health bars, and I don't think he's got Dwarf Toss. But do they have the movement speed? Well, there comes Phoenix's, whatever it's called, the thing. But they're actually going to get onto Ney there. The knockback coming from Kira and make it a double kill so far. Murden coming in with that stim drone, as I mentioned earlier, can be a good stim target, especially with what they've got left. But Kira just sitting on the Morales should be able to take her out no problem. There goes Murden, and the Dwarf Toss interrupted as well. And it's only Silver Jackal, the Li Ming, left as halftime. I don't even think halftime was procced. Was it? 12-8-1-4? I guess I don't know how much damage they put in. Find out right now. I guess it was. So there you go. Raynor and Li Ming gonna pick up the Shaman camp here. And I don't know. I mean, it's possible if Clouded Minds had maybe seen some of those Li Ming shots that they could have caught that and maybe gone and invaded that. But they've got Johanna coming up here, nice and full on the health and mana. And this is a pretty decently shielded Immortal. It's level 15 for both teams, 12.5 minutes in the game when this was picked up. It's going to push hard. But, again, Cosmos has a lot of clear. They've got the amateur opponent. They've got the Exterminator. So, being able to clear this out is pretty much all but certain. It's just a question of how much advantage can Clouded Minds take care of. And there's the Bloodlust looking for the Murden. He is going to get the Dwarf Toss out. The Ring of Frost missing this time. Final Strike is going to hit onto Raynor, but it's Jaina just way too far forward, who's going to be caught there by the Raynor. And now the back's coming out from the team. Tiger nearly getting caught there. Silver Jackal did get the interrupt onto Venus here. And they don't care about the Immortal. They want these kills. Here comes Phoenix's salvo. But there you go. Artanis in the bot lane with the camp getting mega value. Ultimately taking out the first keep of the game. And that was a great play there by Cosmos, recognizing the Jaina just too far forward, trying to secure that kill, and ultimately costing them the death on Jaina. And then that disengage call, being able to use the Wave of Force to interrupt Phoenix, using the penetrating round from Raynor, who it didn't hit, didn't need to. Kira ultimately walked away. But even though they didn't get any kills out of that, they kept the bulk of the team away from Artanis, allowing him to push himself. So both teams sitting on level 16 here. Phoenix hasn't quite decided which way he wants to go on 16. But we do have the full distance on Arcane Orb. That Arcane Orb is going miles. Miles away. So what do? You got pressure mounting on the top if you are Clouded Minds. Pretty much have to clear that out, but you have to be careful about the positioning of Cosmos. Checking these bushes. They're not checking bushes. Phoenix probably had just gone. And the rotation coming in from Cosmos. They're looking for the flank. Murden coming in is going to have the stun onto both Johanna and Rhaegar, but Kira is 100% isolated from the rest of her team. But doesn't matter. Artanis helping out there, actually. Bloodlust coming in. The Suppression Pulse is still available, so I expect to see that soon. There it is, onto 4. Phoenix, however, all by himself versus the Artanis. Let's zoom out. Johanna's going to get taken out. Jaina and Kira both very low, but Star Knight is the target here. As Li Ming getting reset value, Venus is going to make it out, but can the Rhaegar? No. No, Rhaegar can't. As Silver Jackal, once again, Goomba stomping for the kill. And we see the core call coming out from Cosmos. They've got 30 seconds until the rest of the team can be up. This is a difficult core to defeat because of the roots. So if Kira and Phoenix are able to take advantage of those roots, they could find themselves a kill or two. But it's not going to matter as this core is falling rapidly. The big stun going out onto Kira, and that's going to secure them the victory here. 20% left. And that's all she wrote as we see the Stormbolt there going right through Phoenix at the end. 2-0 victory for Cosmos over Clouded Minds. Let's see if we can get an interview. There, so I can see it. Gotta give them their points. So overall, I mean, okay, well, never mind. I was gonna talk, but I got Silver Jackal here and Ide. So welcome, both of you guys showing an AC tag, assistant captains. Just left your captain in the dust tonight, huh?
Odd doesn't like doing interviews, so he forces us to do it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, welcome, Kirk.
Throw him under the bus a little bit,
right? I mean, that's how you treat your captain. That's what you're supposed to do. Is just say no. So So how's your season going, and how does this game feel, you know, getting this 2-0 victory over Clouded Minds?
Would you like to take that over, Ide?
Sure. Yeah, the season's gone pretty well. We stumbled
Definitely a rough start.
on. Yeah, we stumbled a bit early on and played some pretty solid teams early on. So a combination of, you know, playing some teams that earned those wins and just not quite coming together as a team yet. Made us a little slow out of the gate, but we've kind of started putting some things together, started getting our comms down a little bit better, started playing together as a team more. And then tonight, just kind of a slow start to game one. We got a little aggressive a few times, but we're able to turn it mid to late game and end up winning. And then second game, we played a little bit better overall. They made some pretty good plays on some of those team fights in game two, but overall we were able to turn it at the end. Sure.
So you guys have some some familiar names. Obviously, the two of you. I think Oddity is like is that Odd Thought? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, Odd Thought.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So some names I'm familiar with, certainly having cast you guys previously, but not necessarily obviously the whole team. So this is my first chance to hang out with you guys. So how did your team come together? You mentioned things that took a little bit of time to kind of get things to work out. So how did you get to this point?
I was looking for a new team and ended up on Piecemeal that we played last season, and just ended up staying with them. And we brought Ide in, I believe, during Heroes Lounge season.
I think I joined while Heroes Lounge was going on, and then I think you guys dipped just because people weren't playing or something. But I didn't.
Yeah, we didn't have a full set team, so we decided to take Heroes Lounge out and get things ready for NGS.
Well, I'm glad you did. It gave us the opportunity to get this cast tonight. So let's talk about these games a little bit here. So game one, you mentioned this is Brax's Holdout. Lots of brawling in this game. We certainly saw some 1v1s in that solo lane that were pretty intense at times. And but then like a lot of back and forth. I mean, the first half of the game was even in team fights as far as kills, but it was definitely in their favor, right? All the structures going down.
Yeah.
So for your guys' team, what was your plan in that? Like you're finding that you're getting kills, but you're not converting that into structures and what have you. So how did you say we're gonna keep this going and make this work? What was that like?
My opinion was pretty much just kept saying, keep it calm. Everyone's just talking to each other. Just keep our comms going, and look for a way to turn around. And we did. We pretty much just kept playing it and found our opportunity and switched it around.
Yeah, the way the game just works now, even if you do end up losing some structures early, even if you lose some team fights early, like there's almost no way to snowball anymore by that much. If you're kind of playing the way everyone plays the game normally. So, if you lose some structures early, or you lose a couple fights and are behind getting to 10, it honestly doesn't seem to matter too much anymore. One good team fight in the mid-late game, and then winning one team fight at the end of the game, you can win off that. And that's kind of what we did in game one.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and part of that too is recognizing when you can end, right? And I say this all the time, but as the different divisions, or as you get higher in Storm League or what have you, like watching those games, a lot of times the difference between those games is just when to end, right? Knowing that you can or cannot, especially with the changing core mechanics and structures and all that stuff. And so when you guys had that boss in Braxis, and then you had a full Zerg wave, it was like, man, this isn't that late in the game. I think it was like 16 or 17 or something like that. But it's late enough where your 40-second, death timers are going to spell defeat.
Yeah.
Even though all the structures were up when you started that march.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of one of those things where we didn't call that we were, just kind of suiciding to end when that push started. But the way we were kind of playing it is, chain
This is
one
our
to two
chance.
picks and we can end, right?
Yeah.
And it was a really good chance for us to, at the very worst there, as long as we don't do something just colossally stupid, we at least get the game back under control and even things out, and then we can try to get a team fight at the end. But we were able to chain a couple of kills going through on that push and just ended off that.
Sure. And so there's one thing, and I'm not going to sit on this too long, even though I was, practically giddy as a schoolgirl about it. I thought the Brightwing pickup was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I love Brightwing to begin with. Played 100 levels of her, but the pickup against the double mage comp, specifically against Kael'thas and Orphea with the combos that they had with the Pyroblast, like you could really see. I think that Brightwing was like mega unsung hero in that game, because those pixie dusts were freaking huge, and I think that like level 13. And I'd have to go back and look at the replay, but I think that's where the game started to really turn around. You guys had better sustain in those fights, and it really started to turn around for you at that point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just had to shout out,
I'll get all the credit for that. I mentioned, oh, look, they're doing double mage, and he instantly switched over to Brightwing from what he was originally thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, makes sense to me, so it worked out. Then you guys get into game number 2. So this was your guys' map pick on Battlefield of Eternity. Like, was that always the idea that if you get map pick, that's where you wanted to take this team, or was it kind of a like consideration? Were there any details about the first game that you were like, hey, let's go here because we think we can win this game?
I think there was some consideration. It's in our pool of maps that we will pick when we have the choice, obviously, because we just picked it. But we have a group of maps that we'll pick from when we are get the opportunity to pick, and we discussed it for a little bit. And to be honest, it was more of everybody just kind of felt like playing on BOE, so we went for it. Yeah.
And so for the most part, like you know, game number 2 was pretty handily in your favor. You had the structure value, you got all the all but one of the immortals. There was a midpoint there where, you know, Clouded Minds started to get a couple of pushback moments against you, get a couple of that bottom keep turnaround when they initially got
Yeah,
Bloodlust.
we definitely
was-
overstayed there.
That right? So
We're calling after we're like, yeah, we overstayed.
so I think there were 2 of those moments, and they were fairly close, and of course in the mid game where they started to really push back. So, you know, kind of like in game 1 where you had kind of this watershed moment. Was there anything about that you guys were like, okay, we need to do X, Y, and Z to make sure that we get this next fight, and then if we get that fight, we can go win? Was there any communication about that, or was it just kind of calm, cool, collected, let's just play our game and figure it out?
I think it was the latter, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah,
We knew
I
what we
would
needed to
agree.
do, and yeah, we're more calm, collected, and waiting, like looking for opportunity, and just
Yeah,
I don't
'cause-
think we really discussed it too much.
Yeah, even like that push bot where we stayed, 30 seconds too late. After that happened, we all just said, yeah, we should have backed well before that. But, nobody was panicking. We said they're going to get bottom forward off of it. It's fine. Like, it doesn't do anything. We'll just respawn and go take care of things from there.
Sure.
It's, the team stays pretty calm, when things go slightly sideways. We expect them to turn our way the next time. Doesn't always happen, but try to keep a good mindset.
Yep, keep the positivity.
Makes sense. All right, well, my last question for you, which it seems like everybody's stealing from me, which makes me feel great. Hey, that's enough out of you. Sorry, my assistant over here decided he was going to have a voice.
Nice.
But my final question for you guys, and it can be both of you can provide something, neither of you, whatever. You don't have to answer it. But is there any particular moment that you want to highlight that you felt was a shining example of something that, you wanted to make sure was called out? Maybe it's something I caught on stream, maybe it wasn't. But anything you wanted to specifically say, hey, this was a really great moment.
I will say the last team fight when we disengaged and were just poking them out and then turned around when they lost Bloodlust was a great moment for us. I think it was a pretty highlight moment.
Yeah, I would agree with that because we basically called that that's the way we wanted to play the fight heading into it. And as soon as he popped Bloodlust, we had like 3 to 4 people calling, disengage, disengage, disengage. We used everything we had to peel them off of us and keep them back. And then as soon as Bloodlust turned, we just literally turned the fight back on them and were able to start getting picks and end.
Sure. Good deal. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up. Any shout-outs?
Would you like to take it this time, Uday?
No, you got it, man.
All right, well, shout out to you for casting. We always appreciate it, and I believe you're a pretty good caster, one of my top favorites. Shout out to Clouded Minds. We always enjoy playing them. Glad we beat them this time. We lost, I believe, last season to them. Shout out to NGS and their staff. Appreciate them running this whole organization. Gives us amateurs a place to play competitively and appreciate it a lot. Shout out to our team. I think we pulled pretty well. It was a little sloppy at times and got turned around, but we kept it calm and collected and pulled out the domination. And I believe I'm not missing anybody.
All right. Well, thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. It was great getting a cast for you guys tonight. And don't forget to report your match. And good luck with the rest of your season.
All right,
Thanks
you have a
so
great
much.
night.
Thanks again for
You too.
cast.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do a replay cast. I was sent over some replay files of a match from earlier tonight between Probius Drift Cannon Rush and Illa Dancing Queens. So I'm going to just take 5 minutes to get that set up, and then we'll get into the game. So give me a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, and be right back.